Call to order. Pledge of allegiance.
Pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Moment of silence. Moment of silence. That was from
I shouldn't say that.
last time.
Disregard.
Scheduled speaker. Approval of minutes. We have minutes from the September 11th meeting. That was over in the townhouse.
I'll make a motion, we accept them.
Second. Discussion, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Public comments? Treasurer's report?
I don't have a whole lot to report. I've sent off the background checks for the new candidate to be secretary for the ZBA. So my understanding is they're very far behind. So I'm not sure we'll get them anytime soon, but they are in the mail, and you now, if you submit a postage paid stamped envelope, they say they will get it back to you faster. So I've done that for both of them. And, yes?
That won't stop him from functioning should the ZBA
No,
have a meeting before the background comes back.
no. And then I did the financial statements, the monthly update through August 31st. So I'll give that to each of you, and I will update this. That's always in the common office, and we'll be starting on budget soon, I'm sure. Possibly. So, there you go.
Tax collector, administrative assistant.
They're speaking tonight. The new website is up and live, so there'll be some changes there, but it looks user-friendly.
I used it tonight, it's great.
Excellent.
Yeah. Looks much better. Planning board? Code enforcement officer, road agent.
Yes, he has something to say. Rose, could you ask Ed to?
Oh.
Yeah. Go ahead, thank you.
Thanks, Ed.
I'm here as moderator. As assistant moderator, I should say.
Okay.
He's taking an important call, and be out in a moment.
We'll come back to that. Moderator?
I'm here as the assistant moderator, and I wanted to ask the selectmen to choose 2 Republican and 2 Democrat folks from town who could work as ballot clerks. So in anticipation of a very busy November 8th election, I'm not even sure of the date, but it's in November, the midterm. It would not, the way I'm thinking of it, it would not change the moderator's budget at all. It would just mean that people would work shifts that are much shorter than 11 hours. And give people a chance to chill out a little bit. And if you get 4 people named, or I suppose you could name even more if you wanted, then I would get together with Rose to see about doing some kind of a training before the midterm on their responsibilities. And hopefully that would help to make the day a little bit easier. I mentioned it to the moderator, but the way we presented it to him, we were talking about having 4 clerks working at the same time, which the budget will not allow for. There's not money in the budget for that. And it's not necessary, it's more just the idea of the, as I said, the shifts.
So the tough part is 5 of them.
I believe Ginny gave, I think you, no? Well, she told me she gave 3 names. I thought to you, maybe it was to Brian, or maybe it was to nobody at this point, but I'll get those names and try to think of some other people, and certainly, you know, you guys can come up. It basically needs to be somebody who has good customer service, pleasant, and is able to interact and deal with sometimes difficult situations or challenging situations, and somebody whose head is on their shoulders so that they can count easily and just follow through with the very simple directions that are required of the ballot clerk. It's pretty straightforward and concise.
So once the candidates are found, they just get appointed, there's no background checks or anything?
Not that I know of.
Okay.
I can double check with Bill, but
I think they get appointed and sworn in.
yeah, they get appointed and sworn in.
Okay.
If Rose is agreeable to it, or I could do the training, but I think it would make more sense for the 2 of us, since, you know, it's a lot of what goes on with the checklist impacts Rose's work, particularly at the end of the day, with the supervisors of the checklist. And of course, they have to represent both parties.
Can they be related?
I don't see why not.
Just ask.
Yeah. I have to be able to spend 3-4 hours just sitting. I have a feeling we'll be pretty busy. I don't think it's going to be draggy like it can be sometimes with primaries. If anything, it's going to be boom, 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 one right after another. But that's the reason why I'm thinking in terms of shifts of people. So that we bring in fresh heads.
I agree, I think we need to do it. That was last primary, that was a long drag for the 2 that were here.
Okay,
I've got a
thanks.
couple in mind. Do you,
Great.
Rich?
No, I don't.
Okay,
But Virginia is 3, it sounds like.
yep.
Right, I'll get those names to you, and if we need to talk, you know, about likely candidates or whatever, or how a person might fill the position, I can talk with you a little bit about it, and hopefully we'll get 4 people that are willing to serve.
So you're looking for a total of 6?
We already have 2.
Yep.
And yes, we would have a total of 6, and then, you know, it depends. If somebody says, well, I want to work 6 hours, they can work 6 hours, somebody else will work 5 hours. If they want less than that,
The position is ballot clerk.
ballot clerk, yes, that's how they're sworn in. There's a 2-page directions in the procedural manual for 2018. I mean, every manual has them. And like I said, it's pretty straightforward once people know what's expected of them. Wouldn't you say, Rose?
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's a lot easier than primary.
yeah. Right, because there isn't all the
Keeping track of parties.
parties, yeah. Great, thank you.
You're welcome, thank you. Code enforcement officer?
Working through a bunch of permits tonight, and I have 4 more to go, and then we'll be caught up with the permits from, actually 4 of them are houses, And there's three houses, a large addition, and then some minor ones that I've done today. Other than that, that's,
Big houses.
no little mansions. That's right.
Roads.
On my desk tonight was a very large package from Holden Engineering. So we have to sit down and go through the procedure here of what has to be done and who gets a copy. We have to have a meeting with the Conservation Commission so they can review it. There's a place for them to sign off, and it's very well. I haven't really looked it over, just the cover sheet, and talking about who needs to do what and sign where and everything else. So I'll be glad to go through these with you, any one of you guys. But we did get them. I was just,
Great.
So is that the final report we were looking for?
no, that's the copy of the plans. That is what is required to get an application to play in the river and fix the bridge. The finish up of the plans is still coming. But that gets the ball rolling, gets us that much closer.
And the town has been notified and the butters have been notified from Holden.
Oh, they have, excellent, because
Yeah.
like I said, they gave me a list of people they were going to notify, but they've already done it.
I
Oh,
received it
excellent.
today. Yeah.
Excellent,
So did the town get it.
good. So, I think it's good, like I said, I haven't looked it over, but I suspect, I did have a conversation with somebody from the office, and honestly, I can't remember his name right now, but he has been assigned to follow this project through and deal with us. So I have a contact person, and he said to me, I know we've been told a lot of things, but he said to me, this is my project and this is what I'm working on. So, that's good. As far as what I've achieved this week, we filled potholes, gravel patched and raked out Lyford Road again. And then we started clearing some of the material we brought in from all the work on Cedar Park, and getting that organized and ready to screen out, pile it up, and create room for our wintertime operation down at the sand shed. So we got that, and we'll be getting salt. I've got one more day and my backhoe will be back up and running. We'll get the sand and salt mixed up, fill the shed up right away, so that we, just prepared for the snow that's coming in October. But also, a lot of that decent material was generated from Cedar Park, and I would like the selectmen to publicly thank the Martins on Sanborn Road for cooperating and letting us alter their land and do what we need to do to greatly save us on the maintenance in that section of Sanborn Road. We cut banks back, we put a dry well in to keep the water from running out on the street, and it's been working great. So I think you should thank them either through camera or maybe a written letter to them.
Okay.
Let's see, I think that's about it, unless you have questions.
The abutter notices,
Yeah.
you saw the list without going through all the names. Did they
I
just-
haven't seen the list, it just, the heading page to all that paperwork says there is an abutters list in there.
So would they just notify abutters touching, or would they notify people affected?
Oh, I don't think it'll be affected. This is part of the permit process for whoever's directly abutting or across the street from this project.
Okay.
Yeah. When it comes time to actually do the work, yeah, there'll have to be some good communication, because, it's gonna be down to a single lane bridge, temporary bridge, making access in and out of there.
It already is a single lane bridge.
Well, two small cars can pass at once, but, yeah, the deck will end up being 24 foot wide all the way across, so it'll be a true 2 lane, but There has been some projected cost increase because of the new updated rail systems that are required for bridges. You know how right now, for the most part, there's no guardrail until you get on the deck. Well, you have to have approach guardrails and termination guardrails that have to project out, and then they have to curve, and there's some unexpected,
Even for a small road like that?
yeah, the state's involved. Yep.
They're going to move poles, I assume, then too, if they're gonna make it 24 feet wide.
I don't know for sure. We may have to move a pole for the temporary bridge, but that end where the pole is real close, that's already 24.
Oh, okay.
Your end is 21, so the bridge actually tapers 3 feet,
Okay.
so. Yep.
Next subject, while you're here,
Yep.
could you come up with, not tonight, but come up with a contact with the Public Works or the Highway Department? Someone that we could talk to about getting assessments on town speed limits and a couple of dangerous intersections in town?
I can, if you give me what you want, where you want the studies done, I can talk to the, or you can call. Are you talking on the state roads or?
State.
Well, let me back up and say,
Both.
we have the
Both.
right to request from Wakefield a study, a traffic study. And they have the new, the new lines that they put out. They have time of day, high speed, low speed, average speed, and weight of vehicles. And you can get all that, and total count per 24-hour, however you want. There's quite a bit of information. So I usually contact them, and I'd be glad to do that, but if you tell me what you want and where you want it. As we're always been cautioned, if somebody has a speed complaint and we pull a study and it's on the state road, which we can still do because it's in our town, an example is, if that road was 35 and people are complaining that they're speeding, and the count shows that everybody's traveling 50 with no accidents, they may up it instead of decrease it or do something else. That information will be forwarded to the state on a state road, and they may make adjustments.
So I don't want to get into it, but I want to talk to you about it. There's got to be other factors besides speeds, because by that logic, if everybody's doing 100 miles an hour out here, just because.
No, I just say that
automatically-
they could determine that they could move more traffic at a higher rate of speed. It doesn't always work in our favor, and that was what we were told when we requested studies quite a few years ago. Yep. So,
Okay.
but yeah, I'll talk with you, and we can find the right people, the right study, whatever it is you want.
All right.
And then if you have no other questions, I want to go back to code officer, because
Okay, go ahead.
there was expressed a concern about a resident on the south end of town that might be living in a trailer, and I've been watching, and I went by, I didn't go by, this actually haven't been by this week, but I went by on Friday, and the camper was closed up and there was nobody around, so I don't think it's actually being used as a resident. I just think that they're using it quite a bit, so.
Okay,
All right,
thank you.
you're welcome, thank you.
Conservation Commission?
First Wednesday of the month, they'll be meeting.
Heritage Commission?
So the Heritage Commission met last week, and 2019, just a reminder to everyone, is the 225th anniversary of the founding of the town. So we are looking at doing quite a few things, activities and things during the year. The first one will probably be, we're hoping, will be a reenactment of the first town meeting that was held, and we'll do that at the next town meeting in March of 2019. So stay tuned. Oh, I had one question. Laurie, so for one of the things that was done by another one of the towns that was celebrating a big thing was people submitted photos that were then uploaded to the website that were like just the numbers. If sort of people put like on a pumpkin 225 and took a picture of it, or with rocks or leaves or trees and stuff like that. Is that something that's feasible to get changing pictures or pictures on the Heritage Commission page?
We can set that up.
Answer is yes, we have to
Yes.
figure it out.
Yes.
Yeah, okay.
Well, the page, on your page,
Yep.
the picture up in the right-hand corner, if there's more than one picture, it becomes a slideshow.
Oh, that's right. Okay. So we may do something like that. And
Pretty good.
I just thought it'd be a cool idea to go through the 4 seasons of the 225th anniversary of the town. Thank you.
Will you repeat the date one more time? The
So the-
anniversary date?
The actual anniversary date is December 30th, 2019, because it was 1794, like it says behind you. But we'll be doing stuff all year long. So it'll start with the actual town meeting. We'll have a recreation of the first town meeting. So next year in March.
Mhm.
So it's the second Tuesday in March, if town meeting is held that evening. Is that close
Thank
enough?
you. Yeah. Cemetery trustees,
I was informed today that the foundation for the flagpole will go in hopefully this Friday. Rick and Roley putting it in. That needs a good 4 to 5 days to cure. I will order the flagpole probably on Friday, if not Friday, then Monday. And they'll deliver it fairly quickly, and then we can put it up. And I was thinking for the Veterans Day dinner, possibly doing the flag raising
Before,
up there,
up there, and then come
and
down
then
for dinner.
everybody come down for dinner, if you think that works.
that would be great.
So the only thing I
I'll
would
have to practice first to make sure it
say
goes up.
Yeah.
is the dinners, so by then we will have had daylight savings time, so we'll be dark earlier. Do we
Dark
have-
at 4.
Will we have lights and things up there
Please
to
no.
make it safe
Dark at 4,
for
yeah.
folks?
Car lights, there's
Yeah.
no other lights.
Okay, right.
Yeah. I mean, the dinner's at what time, 5 or 5:30?
I think it's usually 5:30, but I'll check the poster.
We can raise the flag at noon.
Well, the idea was to make it all kind of contiguous,
Okay.
rather than have people come out for that, go away, and then come back for the dinner. But if it's not doable, I mean, we could announce an event, maybe the day of November 11th. I don't know when the 11th falls.
So the 10th is when the Veterans Day dinner is, that's the Saturday night, so Sunday would be the 11th.
So maybe Sunday morning, do it the following morning.
We'll have light. You don't get that 4 o'clock until the end of December, right?
Okay. Well,
December 21st is the shortest day.
I don't know, it's been coming on awful
ask
fast.
Google.
Yeah, ask her. Behaving like a kid now.
But certainly it would be more appropriate to do it actually on the day of,
Yeah,
on the
Yeah.
11th.
yeah,
So think about it, and
okay.
we can try to do something.
Yeah, to Rich's suggestion, we can find out exactly when sunset is that day,
Yeah.
plan accordingly.
Yep.
Would be too much to have it on Saturday, then come back for coffee and cake. I'm a Sunday for coffee and cake on the, because we just did a Saturday
Yep.
night, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
Everyone
We'll see as we
They
go.
come to Brookfield.
We'll check the times and stuff.
Yeah. We, the other thing on the cemetery commission is that, cemetery trustees, is that we seeded and fertilized. I stopped about 4 or 5 days afterwards. There was no sign of anything. I don't know, has your lawn come up at all? Okay, I'm hoping,
It's turning greener down there.
is it?
Yes.
This rain will push it all up.
Well, there's been plenty of rain. I've been concerned about whether there's been enough sun and enough warmth, but can't do much about it, so we'll keep our fingers crossed. Yeah.
Okay. And while we're at the cemetery trustees, the selectmen of, Craig and I worked to draft a letter from the selectmen for Judith. We'll be finishing that and sending it out.
Good.
So sunset for November 10th is at 4:24.
What's that?
4:24 is sunset for November 10th.
Yeah, that would be kind of difficult. I mean, we would do it between 4:30 and 5 probably, so that might not work. It might make more sense to just do it Sunday morning, you know, maybe not necessarily at sunrise, but early. So it's up for Veterans Day.
I'd be available to help with that on Sunday
there.
morning.
Yeah, I mean, we could do
Yeah, we
a
can
coffee.
We can bring for.
Yeah, we can
We could do
we
it
can
Sunday
make a pot
morning
of
and then
coffee
have
and
coffee
yeah.
and
Right.
coffee cake or something like that.
Yep.
You know, 9-ish, 8:30, 9 o'clock, so it doesn't interfere with people that go to church.
Yep.
And we can announce it the night before and also put something in the paper. Okay.
Okay, no other boards and committees, old business.
I've got one topic, and that is the painting of the building next door. We got one quote, one proposal. Craig gave me the contact for another one to contact the painter to see if he wants to bid. I haven't done that yet, but the question is, I mean, this year's over, right? So maybe the best we can do is try to line somebody up for the spring, I would think, at this point.
Okay.
My frustration is how do we get a hold of additional potential painters?
I can give you another name, the people that did Terry and Michelle Lee's house. They were very pleased with them. I have it in an email at home.
We have
I
another
think
list.
what you have to do is you have to research what are some large companies that would do a municipal building, have all the proper insurances and people, and send an RFP to them and not expect them to know that we're looking. Even though I know you put it in the paper, but the Grant State, you know,
Okay, we can do that. We can say we'd like to line something up for the spring. If we can get somebody to do it in the spring, that'd be super. Yes, if you would send that, we can put something together to multiple painters.
yeah.
And the one contract, the one proposal we have, I should talk to the person because I don't think they understood the job. The quote was so low, and maybe it was just for the.
I can also find out who painted the Farm Museum and the Plummer Homestead a couple years ago.
Well, that'd be super. We get 3 or 4 now, we can line them up for the spring.
Remind me if you don't hear from me, because it may just
I will do that.
go right through my head.
Okay, I will do that.
Okay. New business, health officer nomination. I believe we nominated Bill Marsh, and he agreed to continue on. Laurie has, this needs to be signed.
Maybe I'll have a
go with two?
Yep, two's enough.
Blue.
Black. Good. He's our health officer.
Yes. Send that back to health officer liaisons.
Yes, I need to get his signature first. Do you want to make a motion that you're nominating him, or is that not required?
I'll make a motion that we nominate
Second,
Bill Marsh as health officer of the town.
second,
Thank you.
discussion. Motion carries. Public comments? Mail and bills?
I have bills.
The mail we got was the notification from Holden that they applied for a wetlands permit for the Moose Mountain Bridge project.
I have a bill from a construction company, PAEY Construction LLC, for 3/4 crushed gravel for $4,224. A bill from 10 Construction, cleanup around sand shed and gravel patch and rake Lyford Road.
Did Ed see this?
Yes,
Is that his?
that's his approval. And then this is $1,197.50. Eversource is $137.89, and the second bill from Eversource is $15.30. Oh, I should have put it on the other side. And a bill from Staples for $26.67. This is a, we had put funds with the New Hampshire Public Deposit Investment Pool, and I printed off the balance showing the interest that we earned for the month of August. And so
That's not a bill, that's just
a
information.
bank statement, basically.
That's pretty good.
Yeah,
For 1 month,
part of a month.
$280, part of a month, $300,000 deposit, good.
Yep. And then I have a bill owed to myself for $28.87 for refreshments for the website training. And there's a reimbursement for Frank Frazier for ZBA postage of $26.80. And that's it.
I'll make a motion to pay the bills as read.
Second.
All in favor? I'm sorry.
Aye.
You're in charge.
Discussion, all in favor?
Aye. You're in charge, I'm sorry.
You're welcome to it.
I just don't know why our electric bill is so high here. $137.
I'll show you an electric bill.
Really? So that's, I guess, what I'm fishing for. Here, this doesn't shock you?
No, it's not.
But then again, you're baking. There you go.
Thank you.
Anything else? Meeting adjourned.